Everybody, magandang hapon po at another edition ng Karista Live TV ngayon. Dati kasi Finance Friday, Karista Live TV. And joining me today ang inyong favorite and loving and caring relationship managers dito po sa Karista. So, Rachelle, you want to say hi? Any messages for our viewers?
Hi, everyone. I
And
hope
then,
you're all having a good day.
Thank you, Rachelle. And Carol Ko, Relationship Manager ni Karista Mortgage. Carol, you want to say hi?
Hi, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Kamusta po ang inyong summer? I hope you're enjoying it.
Yes, thank you sa mga nanonood. I'm sure some of you are probably just chillaxing. So maraming salamat. And Sheila, of course, Relationship Manager, Karista Mortgage. Sheila, you want to say hi and give some messages for our viewers today?
Hi everyone, thanks God it's Friday. So we have more time tomorrow para mag-spend ng magandang araw, mag-camping, no? So thanks God. It's Friday na, guys.
So thank you everyone for watching. Ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon is anong ibig sabihin ng vacancy rate? Ano pong ibig sabihin ng positive cash flow? And then we've compiled some questions from our investors. Marami po kaming mga Pilipino na natulungan mag-invest and meron po silang mga questions and now mga rental property owners na po sila. So pag-usapan po muna natin ano po ba talaga ang ibig sabihin ng vacancy rate. My slide is not working right now, so bear with me 1 second while we prepare that. So, yan. Okay. Pag bumibili po kayo ng rental property, kahit sa ampong lugar, so we have investors na nakabili, of course, sa Suri, nakabili sa Abbotsford, Chilliwack, Kamloops, sa Nanaimo. One of the things na kailangan po ninyong malaman before you buy a property doon sa location na pagbibilan ninyo is ano po ang vacancy rate in that location. Ano po ba ang vacancy rate? Ano po ang ibig sabihin? Ang ibig sabihin po ng vacancy rate ay ilang porsyento ng mga rental properties ay bakante or walang nakatira. Pag mababa ang percentage, ibig sabihin mas maraming naghahanap ng mauupahan or demand is higher versus available na unit or supply. So maririnig po ninyo, ang vacancy rate right now in many areas is 1%. So ibig sabihin po, kapag merong mga vacant na, sa example, 100 ang vacant properties in one period of time na walang paupahan, kung merong 100 na paupahan, ilan ang vacant? So 100 na paupahan sa per location, say 1%, ibig sabihin isa lang po ang bakante. So pag nakakita po kayo na ang vacancy rate is 1, 2, 3%, maganda po yun. Dahil ang ibig sabihin po nun, pag nabakante po yung unit ninyo, madali po ninyong maparentahan kasi kokonti lang po ang bakante in a given area. Ibig sabihin, pag nabakante, sandali lang kasi marami pong mayroong gusto. So kung kayo po ay magiging rental property owner at nag-aalangan kayong bumili doon sa malayong lugar kaysa sa inyo, taga Vancouver kayo, gusto nyong bumili, for example, sa Nanaimo, sa Kamloops, alamin niyo po yung vacancy rate. That will give you comfort kasi ang unang worry po ninyo as a rental property owner, mapaparenta ko ba? The other thing na kailangan yung malaman when you're buying a rental property ay yung tinatawag na positive cash flow. Cash flow, positive cash flow. Ano po bang ibig sabihin yan? Well, makakatulong po kung meron tayong tinatawag na cash flow analysis summary. So, lahat po ng aming investors, we help them pagka bumibili sila to analyze yung kanilang binibili through this cash flow analysis summary. Marahong numbers yan. So, pag-uusapan po natin muna yung one side. So, on the left side ng ating cash flow summary, meron naka-breakdown po yung bibilin. For example, in this situation, 450, ita-type in po ninyo yung down payment, ita-type in po ninyo yung potential na rent. Saan nyo makukuha yung potential na rental income? If you're working with a very good or an expert realtor, alam po nila yung rental income sa area. So sabihin sa inyo kung magkano and then you'll plug it in. We're going to also calculate the return on investment. So kung ang estimate po natin is 5% yung pag nag-appreciate ng bahay, ipa-plug in po ninyo, okay? And then ipa-plug in po nyo yung interest rate na babayaran nyo doon sa binibili ninyo. And then as you can see here, ikina-calculate kung positive or negative cash flow. And then meron tayo on the same calculator, nakalagay po yung kung nag-appreciate ng 5% every year, ano po yung value ng property, magkano yung balance ng mortgage after 5 years, ano yung kikitain mo, and ano yung cash flow na kung positive yan, ibig sabihin kung magkano yung kinikita nyo sa cash flow at magkano naman kung hindi kayo kumikita. So, yan po yung left side. So, pagka kinakalculate po itong positive or negative cash flow, itong amount na ito na 320, yun ang tanong, ano po ba ang basis ng number na ito? Ito po siya. So, yan yung total expenses. Ano po yung komposisyon ng expenses? Cash flow means rental income minus expenses. So, ano po yung mga expenses? Of course, number one, yung mortgage. Diba? So, pag tinype po ninyo yung interest rate, at tinype po niyo yung down payment, kakalculate na po niya automatically kung magkano yung mortgage payment. And then, kailangan po nating malaman kung magkano yung taxes na babayaran nyo in a monthly basis. So, kung ano yung property tax divided by 12, ipa-plug in yung number. Kung merong condo fee, pa-plug in nyo yung number. And then may insurance. Kasi po, as a landlord, kailangan meron po kayong landlord insurance to protect you kung sakasakaling may mangyari doon sa property ninyo. If you own a condo or a townhome, maliit lang po siya kasi contents lang po. If you own a half duplex or a house, mas malaki po yun because you're insuring the entire building, no, and the entire house. If you used yung inyong equity for down payment, itatype in nyo lang po din dito. So, automatic kina-calculate niya. Now, ito pong number na ito, maintenance, ano pong ibig sabihin yan? So, a lot of investor coaches, ang sinasabi po nila, mag-budget kayo ng between 2 to 5%. So, this is a budget. This is not an actual expense. All this is to make sure na meron kayong contingency na tinatabi every month in the event na kailangan yung magbayad ng kailangan kumpunihin doon sa inyong unit. Okay? So, meron na kayong nakaset aside. Property management. So, I put here 6% kasi meron po kaming relationship with a property manager. If you got the mortgage from Karista Mortgage, he will give you a discount doon sa property management. So normally, ang property management costs you 10 to 12% of the monthly rent. Ang bibigay lang niyang cost is 6%. So naka-budget po yan. And then finally, meron tinatawag na vacancy. I talked about vacancy rate earlier. So, typical vacancy right now is 1%. So, nag-budget po ako ng 1%. All that is to make sure na habang bakante, meron kayong nisa-set aside so that pagka sakasakaling mabakante, meron po kayong bubunutin. So, nakalagay dito 1%. Some people recommend to put 3 to 5%. To be on the safe side. So, conservative po ang nilagay ko. So, based on all of these expenses, no, and then yung rental income na 1.9, nakalagay dito, negative po yung kanyang cash flow. So, mas maganda po, ideally, positive yung cash flow. But in this instance, negative yung cash flow. Now, some investors, tumutuloy pa rin sila kung negative ang cash flow. Bakit? Kasi po, you have other ways to win when you purchase a rental property. Before we go kung ano yung ibang other ways to win, so makikita po ninyo yung dito din sa calculator na ito, sasabihin po yung lahat ng inyong upfront cost. So when you purchase, nakalagay dito yung property transfer tax, yung legal fee, magkano yung repairs na kailangan yung iset aside. Meron tinatawag na holding fund and then other costs. So ano ito po yung holding fund? This is just a recommendation. You're not paying that to anyone. So nag-budget lang po kami ng ganyang holding fund just so in the future, as I said, meron kayong bubunutin kung sakasakaling kailangan po ninyo for your property. Now, balik tayo sa cash flow. Maganda sana kung itong property na ito, merong positive cash flow para wala na kayong bubunutin, wala na kayong stress every month sa inyong property. Now, ang sabi po dito, meron siyang ROI from principal pay down year 1. Anong ibig sabihin yan? So, as you can see, kahit meron ho siyang negative cash flow, meron siyang kinikitang 9.6. Saan niya kinuha yung 9.6? Kasi po doon sa mortgage payment po niya, merong pong pumupunta sa principal, merong pumupunta sa interest. So yung pumupunta sa interest, balik po sa bulsa niyo yun. So there's a gain there. Tapos po, doon sa cash flow, negative, so na minus. Now, the other thing na kailangan yung tandaan, yung value ng property, it goes up. So nakabudget dito, 3% inflation. Dito po sa buhay, hindi lang sa Canada, kahit saang mundo, saang lugar ng mundo, meron tinatawag na inflation. Every year, price rises. Nag-budget lang po ako ng inflation na 3%. But properties have gone up more than that. Some have gone up 5, 10, 15. Some have doubled. So, naging conservative lang po ako na nilagay ko 3%. So, in this situation, meron siyang 9,000 na hinita from the mortgage payment. Meron siyang negative cash flow. Meron siyang appreciation ng property. So, meron pa rin siyang return sa kanyang investment na 28,000 per year, and then kung 5 years, meron siyang 151,000 na ginigain. So ang moral lesson po ng ganitong spreadsheet is this. When you're buying a rental property, you fall in love with the number. You don't fall in love with the property. Kasi po, bumibili kayo ng negosyo. Kaya alam nyo dapat yung mga numero. So, speaking of mga numero, we have meron po kaming webinar. Marami na po kaming Pilipino na nabuksan ng mata, natulungan. We have a real estate investing webinar po sa July 22nd. That's a Thursday, 6:30 po. So, that's next week. So please feel free to register. Medyo marami na po, konti na lang po yung seats na available because we can only accommodate 100 people. So malapit na po kami doon sa limit. So if you want to join us, so that's July 22nd. So we're going to share with you why it's a good idea to invest. We're going to share with you also, meron po kaming mga speakers and they're going to talk to you. Meron kaming property manager, merong lawyer, and then meron po din tayong accountant para masagot yung mga tanong ninyo. We will also be giving you a copy of that spreadsheet when you join para po pag nag-invest kayo ng sarili nyong property, you can plug in the numbers. So a lot of our investors, every single time they buy a rental property, we help them, we coach them with the number. Now, yung mga nanonood po ngayon, kung meron po kayong questions, please feel free to type it in and then we will read them. However, meron po talaga tayong mga questions from our investors na gusto ko po sanang tanungin from our relationship managers. So, first question. We're just waiting for Carol to join us. Okay, first question po. Again, kung meron po kayong question, type niyo lang. First question po. Rachelle, yung kaibigan ko nakabili ng pangalawang property. Akala ko ba 20% down? Pero hindi 20% down ang down niya eh. Paano niyo nagawa yon para sa kanila?
That's a really good question, B. So yes, kung rental property, you require 20% ng down payment. Pero there are some cases and some instances where unang-una, what they probably did is they made it owner-occupied. So they lived there for 1 year and kept their current one as a rental property. So minimum down payment lang yan. And there are other instances where they will just actually move there for the remainder of time and then keep their current as a rental. Para 5% lang siya.
Ayan. So, if you're buying, tama po si Rachel, kung ang binibili po niyo rental property by law dito sa Canada, 20%. But a lot of our investors, sometimes they leave their existing property, bibili ng pangalawa, dun sila titira. So, hindi niyo kailangan yung 20% down. So, we were able to help a few people to do that. Nakabili ng pangalawang property, 5%, yung isa 10% lang. So, that's pretty cool. Second question, Sheila, ano ba ang equity line of credit? How does applying for home equity line of credit affect my current mortgage? So some call it home equity line of credit, some call it HELOC. Ano nga ba yun, Sheila? Naka-mute. I think Sheila is muted.
Hi everyone, that's a really good question, B. Tama ka po. Sometimes tinatawag nilang HELOC, sometimes tinatawag nilang home equity line of credit. So from the word itself, nanggaling yung line of credit sa equity nyo. Ito po ay parang credit card na ho, kung saan yung pera ng yung equity ay nasa line of credit at kung kailan niyo lang gagamitin, doon lang po kayo magbabayad ng interest. Mas mababa ang interest sa inyong mga line of credit na unsecured. Kasi itong hilok is secured against your mortgage. So, ibig sabihin, mas mababa ang interest rate at mas masarap gamitin kung kayo bibili ng property, pag-i-invest na katulad ng ang unang tanong kanina, mag-i-invest kayo ng pangalawang property, magpapa-renovate kayo, or magko-consolidate kayo ng debt. So, pwede niyong gamitin. Paano maaapektuhan ito yung current mortgage? So, pag kumuha po kayo ng hilok, yung mortgage nyo po hindi naman maapektuhan. Kung ano yung binabayaran nyo, yun pa rin. Yung hilok kasi separate yon. Kung hindi nyo nga gagamitin, as what I mentioned to you a while ago, hindi po kayo magbabayad ng interest rate. Ang interest rate po dito, prime or 2.45 plus 0.5. So, 2.95 yung interest rate. So, wala pong magiging impact ito sa mortgage nyo kasi yung mortgage nyo, yung pa rin naman yung babayaran nyo. In-access lang natin yung available equity at nilagay natin sa inyong home equity line of credit.
So, in the past, what we've done is, marami po kaming mga kliyente, because they have a home equity line of credit, what has done is nagkaroon po sila ng freedom. What do I mean by that? Just because we put a home equity line of credit doesn't mean na bibili na sila. We had a client na we put the home equity line of credit about 6 months ago. They were thinking of selling their property, but because the property value went up, ang nangyari, nagamit nila yung home equity line of credit na available sa kanila, and then they were able to buy another property. Sabi niya, mabuti na lang ginawa mo yan, Bernadette, because I wasn't forced to sell my property. And then number 2, meron akong pang down sa pangalawa. And then number 3, dahil hindi ko binenta yung iniwanan kong property, nakabili po ako ng much better property. Now, dalawa na po yung property tumataas. Kasi kung binenta niya yung property niya, di tumigil na yung kita doon dahil tapos na nabenta na. But because he kept it, so itong property nitong dati, tumaas by another 100. Yung binili niya, tumaas by another 100. So nagkaroon agad siya ng 200,000 nag-boost. Whereas if he sold it, 100 lang yung kinita niya. So, nakatulong yung paglagay ng home equity line of credit because it gave them freedom na later nga kasi sabi ni Sheila, wala po kayong babayarang interest, naka-standby po yung pera. You only pay when you use it, and when you use it, it's a much lower interest rate po kesa po doon sa line of credit na binibigay ng bangko. So, thank you for that, Sheila. Carol, paano po namin malalaman kung magkano na ang value ng property namin ngayon? Reliable po ba na gamitin ang online home value estimator?
That's a very good question. Actually, ang pinakamadaling malaman kung ano ba yung value ng market mo ngayon is you can ask your realtor kung magkano ba yung bentahan ngayon sa area nyo with the same property that you have. Then, i-compare nyo into apples to apples. So, yun yung magiging value or bentahan property, yung value ng property nyo right now sa market. And the other is kung wala ka ng connection sa realtor mo, just ask around in your neighborhood kung magkano ba yung nabenta nung sa same property that you have.
Yes, that's a good point. Or kung meron mga for sale sa area, tawagan nyo lang yung sign na realtor doon. Magkano binibenta? And then you will have that information. So thank you, Carol. Sheila, after buying your first property, how much time do you need to be able to buy your next property?
That's a really good question, B. Kasi marami tayong mga client na pagkabili ng unang property, may pre-approval na, no, nakakabili ulit after 3 to 4 months. Meron din naman tayong mga kliyente na after a year, meron after second year. So, depende po yon. So, ang kagandahan lang, kung ikaw gusto mong bumili ulit ng pangalawang property mo, lagi mong isi-secure muna yung pre-approval mo. So, alam mo kung kailan ka pwede ulit bumili. At saka, syempre, kailangan yung naka-ready din yung down payment mo. Okay? So, nasa sa inyo po yun. Basta one at a time lang lagi. Every time na bibili kayo, kung kayo mga first-time home buyer and you wanted to have a rental property in the future, tell it to your mortgage broker para po matulungan namin kayo sa next step kung kailan yung susunod na dapat makabili kayo ng pangalawa yung property.
Ayan. And then meron po tayong question. Hi, Ate Norma Blanco. Magkanong maximum ng home equity line of credit? So, who wants to answer that?
I'll answer that, B. So, Ate Norma, that's a really good question. No, ho. Ang maximum po kasi na loan to value na pwedeng ipahiram sa atin ng bangko, 80% ng market value ng property nyo. So, ibig sabihin, sa 1 million na lang po, kung wari, Ate Norma, ang property value nyo is 1 million. So, habi ng bangko, 80%, pahihiramin kita, Norma. So, 800,000 yun. So, hindi mo makukuha lahat yung buong 800,000 ha kung may mortgage ka pa kasi ile-less mo sa 800,000 yung balanse ng iyong mortgage na natitira. Kung wari, meron kang 500,000 na balance pa ng mortgage, so sa 800,000 less 500, may 300,000 ka na maximum na pwede mong makuha as line of credit na ilalagay natin sa hilok. Okay?
Yan. So,
ganun
yun po
siya.
yun. Tama si Sheila. Ganun po yung calculation, Ate Norma. I hope that answers that question. Basta, pwede kang bumiling 80%, pwede kang mag-refinance up to 80% ng value ng home minus balance. Yun po ang potential na pwede niyong makuha for a home equity line of credit. Rachel, since variable rate is less than the fixed rate, would I be able to borrow more if I use the variable rate? Good question.
Good question. No. So the way that you're qualified by the lenders is by the stress test rate of 5.25. That's the benchmark qualifying rate that lenders use to see how much you guys can buy. Pero kung gusto nyo ng variable rate, the good thing with that naman is mas mababa naman yung monthly payment mo because as of this moment, the variable rate is a lot lower than the fixed rate.
Yan. Okay. So there you go. Ang maganda po sa mababang variable rate, mas mataas yung chance niyong magkaroon ng positive cash flow. Next is, paano po namin malalaman kung worth it bang mag-invest sa isang property? Yay, Carol.
That's a very good question. Kaka-discuss ka ni Bernadette a while ago. So, I'll just summarize it, I guess. So, ang maganda mga kasagutan is your realtor. You make sure that you create your own team. Diba? So, you get your pre-approval and then get your realtor to work with you. You make sure it's an expert realtor that ang forte niya is investment talaga. Hindi siya yung lang just to purchase a first-time home buyer. Bakit? Sila yung makakapag-provide sa inyo ng cash flow analysis. They will give you, sabi nga ni Bernadette, titignan niyo yung vacancy rate. Yun yung mga factors that you have to check. You have to check the cash flow analysis. And then you have to check also the inflation and then fall in love with the numbers. So, yun yung makakatulog sa inyo.
Ayan. So, again, in order to see kung worth it is the numbers. Yon. So, yung cash flow analysis, yung ating spreadsheet, we can provide you with that to measure kung worth it. Next, Rachel, meron kaming existing mortgage, car loan at may credit line. Pwede pa rin ba kaming mag-invest?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes and no po, kasi we have some clients that will have to pay off some of their debts. Halimbawa, if their income is not enough to suffice for a second mortgage, a rental property. Kung may mortgage ka, may car loan, student loan, and what have you. Pero we do have other clients na kaya naman yung income nila to pay off their existing loans. Tapos mataas naman yung market rent sa property that they're going to buy as a rental. So it offsets it and they're able to purchase without paying off their debts naman.
Yes.
We have other clients that can actually do both. They don't need to pay it off pero gusto nila mag-refinance kasama na yung mga loans nila sa mortgage nila para mas mababa talaga ang monthly payments nila, and then they can proceed to purchase more than what they can qualify for. Or what more they can qualify more for more.
Yes, that's a very good point. So when we talked about cash flow earlier, there's a cash flow doon sa binibili mo. Meron ding household cash flow. Ang ibig sabihin ng household cash flow, yung income nyo as a family minus lahat ng mga gastos ninyo, lahat ng mga utang na binabayaran ninyo. When everything is done right, pwede pong mas mag-improve yung household cash flow ninyo through a refinance. So if you want to know more about that, just send us a message and we will talk about that. Okay, we have a question here from Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa! I have an existing HELOC with my Surrey property. Pwede po bang madagdagan yung HELOC amount if the value of the property went up? Carol!
Have to check it. Hello?
Okay, ayan, we can hear
Yes.
you now.
Hi, Ate Vanessa. How are you? I saw your text. Thank you for asking it here. So yes, if you have an existing hilok po and you this is really property mo and nag-appraise yung property value mo, then we have to check it yung inyong lenders if they can increase yung inyong available hilok. So based pa rin to doon sa inyong mortgage policy and then at the same time if the lender is going to allow us based on sa income natin.
And kung ang question, posible, I always say yes. It's so possible. Basta tumaas yung value ng property ninyo, it's very possible. So good question. We've had a lot of clients na nalagyan ng line of credit and then after a while, tumaas yung line of credit. And Vanessa, the way we also set up your mortgage, habang bumababa yung inyong mortgage, bumubukas yung line of credit. So maganda po yung klase ng mortgage na meron kayo. It's called a readvanceable mortgage. Another question from Julie. Hi, Julie. I have an existing mortgage with Scotia. Do I go to lender directly to apply for a HELOC? I'm hoping to use it for a third property. O, diba? Social. I'm looking to purchase next year. Is it too soon to apply for a HELOC in this case? Sheila, you want to answer that?
Hi, Ate Julie. Hi, everyone in Penticton. Ate Julie, oo naman. Pwede nating tingnan. Pwede nating, ang pinakamaganda dyan, tawagan mo ko, tawagan mo kami, or I'll call you later para ma-explore natin yung option na yan para sa third property mo. So, yes, pwede kang dumiretso sa lender, pero we suggest na kausapin mo lagi yung iyong mortgage broker, kung yung mortgage broker mo at kami yon before ka mag-explore ng option mo. So, we'll connect
And then,
with you.
yeah, that's a very good point. Bakit kailangan mo munang kausapin yung mortgage broker mo before your lender? This is why. If you talk to your lender directly at hindi marunong yung kausap mo, they will type something in your file. And kung ano man yung tinype nila, it stays there forever. So, ibig po sabihin, if they should not have said that, hindi mo na nila maa-unsay. So kami as mortgage broker, ang sasabihin lang po namin doon sa lender yung makakatulong sa inyo. Kung hindi makakatulong, we don't have to disclose, we don't have to say anything. Kaya po pagka you approach us, we will say, okay, ito po yung posible and if you want to go to the lender, ito po yung dapat ninyong gawin para po wala kayong pagsisisi. So that's a very good question. Thank you po. Ate Norma, am I qualified for home line of credit by August? Miss Bernadette and Miss Carol. So, Norma, that's a very, very good question. So, pagdating po sa qualification, it's a matter of yung income ninyo and then yung mortgage ninyo and yung mortgage in other properties. So, we can certainly take a look at it ng August, kung ano po yung posible para po sa inyo. Kasi po, it's a snapshot at a certain period of time. So, yes, pwede po natin reviewin ang inyong situation. Julie said, thank you. You guys are amazing. You are also amazing, Julie. Thank you for allowing us to guide you. We're so proud of you. You're so blessed. A lot of our viewers, yung mga nag-attend ng webinar, not all of them ay nakakabili ng pangalawa, pangatlo. So thank you so much. Give yourself a pat on the back for taking action after what you've watched. So congratulations. Next question. I think it's number 8. If you can get the financing to purchase another property, would you buy now in this environment? Ooh. Carol.
Yes, I will. I will back it because, like what we've been mentioning it, di ba? Why is it a good time to invest? Kasi meron kang na-generate na wealth right now sa market, lalo na nandito sa Vancouver or British Columbia, sa city, na nag-generate tayo ng wealth through price appreciation. That every year it's increasing. And the other wealth that that you can generate sa property or rental property is kahit mag-negative cash flow siya, meron kang nagiging na equity gain na yung mortgage payment mo nababawasan and then yung principal mo bumababa na siya. Yun siya. So that's why it's a good one to invest kasi you have the equity gain from the mortgage payment and then the price appreciation in the market.
Ayan. Good answer kasi again, I've been doing this 20 years. Wala po pa akong investor na nagsisi na nakabili po sila. Lahat po sila nagsisisi dahil
Hindi sila bumili.
binenta. Ayan, hindi sila bumili. Yung mga nanood, hindi sila bumili. Yun ang unang pagsisisi. Ang investor, dalawa ang pagsisisi. Una, hindi agad bumili ng marami. Hindi agad bumili o hindi agad bumili ng marami. And number two, bakit nila binenta? So, wala pong nagsisisi na bumili sa kahit na anong environment. I'm talking 20 years, di ba? So, sa buong 20 years, lahat po nang nagbumili, if they had kept it, they would have gained more. So in this environment, yes, because it will just keep going up. Don't worry, it will. And then, next question, Sheila, you have money for down payment, but how are you going to qualify for a mortgage if you will have two mortgages? Meron na siyang owner-occupied, meron siyang bibiling pangalawa. Like, how can you qualify for that?
Oh, that's a really good question. Remember, nakita niyo yung cash flow analysis calculator na pinadala ni Bernadette. Itong bibilhin yung pangalawang property or yung rental property nyo, tandaan nyo, may renta yan. Meron kayong tenant na magbabayad ng inyong mortgage, ng inyong property tax, ika-cash flow nga natin. So, ika-calculate natin lahat. So, ang concentration mo lamang doon sa iyong mortgage na tinitirhan. Hindi mo po problemahin, sabi ni Bernadette kanina, business ito. Pag pumasok ka sa business, kaya kami na andito, pag-aaralan natin lahat ng mga detalye ng bibilhin mong property. At alam mo na ngayon na yung pambayad mo doon sa pangalawang mortgage mo or pangalawang property mo, manggagaling doon sa tenant mo dahil landlord ka na ngayon. So, hindi mo siya po problemahin.
That's why sinasabi ko, actually, isa lang ang mortgage mo. Anong isa, dalawa, no? Kasi yung isa, hindi mo naman problema nga yun eh. Iba yung nagbabayad nun eh. Ito lang naman yung binabayaran mo. And some of our clients are actually really amazing kasi some clients, iniwan nila ito, bumili ng pangalawa, and then yung pangalawa nilang bumili, may renta sa baba. Minsan, sobra-sobra pa, may extra pambayad ng isang mortgage. So, that happens too. The final question is, do you get less equity if you buy an older property, Rachelle?
No, for townhomes and for single detached homes, the appreciation, it's still going up in terms of those properties. Pero sa mga condos, the thing that they'll have to take into account is kung mas maluma po siya, mas mataas ang magiging maintenance at strata fee mo. So the appreciation, the value of the property for that, it will go up slower kaysa sa single detached or townhome.
Yes. So, meron kami mga kliyente nakabili ng condo, tumaas pa rin, townhouse, tumaas pa rin, and then single detached half duplex, tumaas pa rin. Yun nga, some of them older, some of them newer, so depende po siya. In order for you to find out kung ano yung trend, let's say, bibili ka ng property, 25 years old, right? Ang gagawin mo, tatanungin mo sa realtor mo kung ano yung trend nung value ng bahay over the period of time. Let's say 25 years yon. Makikita po kasi ng realtor ninyo kung ano yung nangyari sa presyo every time it changes hands. Then you have an idea. We had a webinar with Evelyn Lopez, and she shared how kahit na mga 47-year-old na property, kumikita pa rin in this market kasi meron po tayong issues talaga sa supply. Demand is too high, supply is too low, kaya kahit na ano pong klase ng bahay, tumataas pa rin po. So yan po yung ating mga questions. So I hope we answered everything. Kung meron po kayong mga question, just let us know. You can send us a private message. And again, we want to remind you, we have a real estate investing webinar po para sa mga Pilipino. Tagalog po siya, July 22nd. Bakit po siya Tagalog? Because we understand real estate investing can already be confusing. And we wanted to simplify. If we simplify it for you, we empower you to buy more properties. Marami po kami mga kliyenteng Pilipino nakabili ng pangalawa, pangatlo, pang-apat, pang-limang property because we were able to simplify it for them. Nakakatuwa, sa unang rental property, kinakabahan. Pagka nabili na yung pangalawang property, sasabihin, oh my gosh, ganito lang pala kadali. So they want to buy more super fast. So hopefully that will be you nasusunod. So please join us. And also please continue to follow us here at Karista and social media. We are always making a point to give value, to educate you, educate, because the more you know, the more you grow, the more you can do with your life. So thank you so much for watching us today. And if you want to talk to any of our relationship managers, if you want to find out more about what's possible for you, please schedule a free, no obligation discovery call. Ayan po yung link. So marami pong salamat sa mga nanonood. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And famous last word, Sheila, any advice or comments po for our viewers?
Magkita-kita po tayo sa Thursday ng gabi, 6:30.
Ayan. Rachelle?
Yes, we'll see you all on Thursday night after work po. Libre po siya. It's like you're watching Netflix lang, but you'll learn a lot sa real estate investing. So we hope to see you there.
And Carol?
Yeah, I know you guys are so excited na ang dali lang pala bumili ng rental property. It looks like easy for them na sinasabi nila what are the advantages. But again, we're going to invite you to attend our real estate investor webinar next Thursday para ano ba yung muna yung steps. Maturuan muna namin kayo. Hindi kayo basta-basta bumili ng property lang because we always guide you first.
Ayan. Team K, you're amazing. Thank you po, Vicky Victoria, for that comment. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.